Thank you so much, Rich. So, who's your BFF? Your best friend forever. You know, when we are ill or in pain or in need of help or hope or healing, we have a BFF. So we're going to break down the acronym BFF. We're going to put an A in front of it because that's part of what we're going to talk about today. And we're going to learn how we can realize relief from whatever ails us. So, a BFF, the letter A, is for accept. Accept what is. No, that doesn't mean you have to embrace it or celebrate it. If you've got a health challenge or an illness, it's human nature to resist, to push back, isn't it? To do everything we can to restore health and get out of the discomfort we're in. But one of our basic spiritual principles is whatever we resist persists. So our natural inclination to push back, push away from something uncomfortable by responding in a purely human perspective, we're actually doing ourselves more harm. And when I read the obituaries, which I do, every Sunday I sit down with a paper, I skim through the obituaries, and I pray for those people who've made their transition, and I pray for those who are left behind. And so often, what you'll see in the obituaries is she had a valiant battle against her illness, or he fought bravely against his disease. You've seen that, haven't you? Wow, what a statement of resistance. I don't want my obituary, note this, Lee, to say anything like that. I wanted to say she lived with grace and dignity, trusting in spirit. I don't want to resist what's going on, which is not to say the same as I'm going to joyously welcome pain and illness. I will acknowledge it. I will be with it. I will explore it. I'll find out what I need to do to take as best care of myself as I can. And then I will address it after I've accepted it with my BFF. And here's what that means. The first B stands for blessing. You might want to substitute gratitude in your mind's eye if that works better for you. When we're hurting, when we're ill, when we feel lousy, again, what is the human response? We focus on it, don't we? What hurts? Where don't I feel good? How can I make this better? It's important to pay attention to what our body needs, so I'm not saying ignore it. But what I'm saying is bless everything about your health and your body and your life that you possibly can. Thank you for the health that I do enjoy. Even though my leg is broken and it's in a cast, I won't walk normally for 6 months. Bless your body's amazing capacity to heal and restore itself. It's incredible when you look at some of the things these physical vehicles go through and recover from. You know, if you break a bone and it's properly set and given the appropriate time to heal, it actually is stronger after the break than it was before. That's amazing. Our bodies are incredible. They know how to create healing and restoration of our whole being, sometimes rendering it better than it was to begin with. Bless every aspect of your being. You know, the spiritual principle behind this idea is whatever we bless, we create more of. So if we're busy whining and complaining about what hurts, what are we going to create more of? What hurts, right? But if we redirect our focus, and we're going to talk about that in a minute, and bless what we can truly and sincerely be grateful for, we're going to create more of what it is that we're blessing. See, our focus on the illness actually energetically supports the illness or disease. But when we bless our bodies, demonstrated wholeness, that moves us to a place of power. And it replaces doubt with fear and confidence. As we bless our body and its amazing capacity to heal, it turns us away from that purely human experience to the higher perspective and experience of spiritual insight and wholeness. So step number 1 is accept what is. Step number 2 is bless. Bless everything in your body, everything in your life that you can think of to bless. Step number 3 is sometimes a difficult one, a challenging one. EFF. And the first F stands for forgiveness. When we don't release toxins from our physical body, we wind up seriously ill as the toxins build up and back up in our system. When we don't release mental toxins, often required to do through forgiveness, illness results. When we withhold forgiveness, whether it's about forgiving ourselves, forgiving others, forgiving circumstances that we didn't find particularly joyous, when we withhold forgiveness and consequently wind up nurturing a sense of I'm a victim, or feeding into the idea that I've been abused, that wreaks havoc with our bodies. Many of you have heard of Louise Hay. A lot of you. They happen to have a beautifully illustrated book called You Can Heal Your Life. Louise Hay was a pioneer in exploring the thoughts and feelings and attitudes that underlie physical illness and disease. She is credited for teaching the power of shifting thinking through affirmations and prayer, and through that, literally saving hundreds, if not thousands of lives. When the AIDS epidemic was rampant on the West Coast, is when she came to renown for the work that she was doing with these people who at that time had no other recourse through the medical community. Louise Hay asserts that our thoughts and our attitudes are the core of all illness and disease. And I know it's tempting in our humanity to want to argue and debate that, but just be with it and see what fits and see what you can do with this. What she talks about, our attitudes and thoughts of being at the core of all disease, actually is a restatement of what you and I know of as the third unity principle. Human beings create their experience by the activity of their thinking. Everything in the manifest realm has its beginning in thought. Well, most of us would never choose to be ill, yet our habitual thoughts create an opportunity for illness and disease, or dis-ease, to set in and take hold. Deepak Chopra makes the observation, we all have cancer cells somewhere in our body at any given time. The question is not, why do so many people get cancer? The question is, why is it that so many people never develop cancer beyond those few errant cells? The answer to Chopra's question is, it's in our thoughts. And the solution is the F of BFF. It's forgiveness. Louise Hay, in her book, lists numerous physical medical maladies that we might experience and correlates them with specific error thought patterns. I'm going to share just a few of those so you get kind of an idea. Abscess, any kind of abscess anywhere in your body, she says, is about fermenting thoughts over hurts and slights. It's about nurturing thoughts of revenge. There are numerous references to skin issues, skin diseases, acne, psoriasis. She says that's anger at ourselves or others, and can also be tied to self-dislike, or what Rich sang about this morning, lack of a sense of worthiness. Cold sores, she tells us, are festering, unexpressed anger. Bursitis is repressed anger. Cancer is tied to long-standing resentment. Candida is tied with frustration and anger. Depression is tied with ideas of anger that you don't feel you have a right to have. Excess weight, she suggests, is fear that covers up hidden anger and a resistance to forgive. Gallstones, hardened bitterness, she says. Kidney stones, lumps of undissolved anger. And it goes on. Hepatitis, liver disease of any sort, is about fear, anger, and hatred. You hear that word anger repetitively? When we're angry, that's a red flag to us that we have some forgiveness work to do. The liver, she tells us, is the seat of anger and rage. And if you know anything about physiology, the liver and the kidneys have a lot to do with detoxifying the body. So that makes a lot of sense. Any kind of inflammation, she said, means you're seeing red. In other words, anger. TMJ and jaw issues, she ties to anger, resentment, and a desire for revenge. And it goes on and on and on. All of these physical challenges that we might experience in our life can all be traced back to our most deeply held thoughts and beliefs. Now, none of us would choose these thoughts and beliefs, especially if we knew that they might have repercussions in our physicality. But the way to deal with them all is through forgiveness. Forgiveness is actually the antidote that heals. When we forgive ourselves and others, we release those negative, heavy emotions and the heavy energy, and it opens us up to experience healing energy and positive, affirming ideas of wholeness. When we forgive, we are invited and suggested by Louise Hay to forgive others for anything they may ever have done to hurt you. She goes on to remind us to forgive ourselves, forgive our own errors and underlying behaviors to our health challenges. She also suggests we forgive our bodies. As an energy healer and someone who's practiced in the world of healing for a number of years, I'm intrigued by the number of people who have come to me and said, I'm so mad at my body because it's produced this illness or that pain or that discomfort. And I can't help but think, well, if you're mad at your body, it's going to be really difficult for your body to heal and be restored. We've got to do some forgiveness work here. As we forgive, we release anger, and we can lovingly embrace our physicality by forgiving it for its shortcomings and blessing it. In Myrtle Fillmore's book, Healing Letters, one of the things she talks about in her powerful prayer work is how she went through every organ in her body, every cell and every system, acknowledging the innate wisdom of those systems and organs in her body, and forgiving herself for her naivety and not taking better care of her thoughts and her body. So how do you forgive? There's a crash course in forgiveness. There's only really one criteria, and that's you need to be willing to let go. Let go of the anger, let go of the resentment, let go of the idea that it's their fault, that you can blame them. Let it all go. And then allow Spirit to do the work of forgiveness through you. A few years ago, I came across a prayer, a Buddhist prayer of forgiveness that moved me deeply, and it has taken up residence in my meditation space at home, and I refer to it daily. I invite you to listen to these words and take them in. If I have harmed anyone in any way, either knowingly or unknowingly, through my own confusions, I ask their forgiveness. If anyone has harmed me in any way, either knowingly or unknowingly, through their confusions, I forgive them. If there's a situation I'm not yet ready to forgive, I forgive myself for that. For all the ways that I harm myself, negate, doubt, belittle myself, judge, or am unkind to myself through my own confusions, I forgive myself. Once we've accepted what is, once we've blessed what we can sincerely bless in our lives, once we've done our forgiveness work, now we add the second F, focus. What we focus on, we know this in New Thought, is what we get more of. It really is closely tied to blessing. What we bless, we create more of. Where we focus our thoughts and attentions, that's where we are pouring our energy. So if we're focused on a health issue or a challenge, try focusing instead on the healing and the wholeness you desire. And I'm not saying don't take care of yourself, don't see the doctor if you feel divinely guided in that direction. Give the challenge the appropriate attention that it needs, but then shift your focus away from the issue and focus on a healthy body, a healthy mind, an entire being that's functioning optimally in every way. Refuse to dwell on what you don't want and focus on what you desire. Health and wholeness in every facet of your being. Again, Louise Hay gives us a wonderful affirming prayer for this. She says, in the infinity of life where I am, all is perfect, whole, and complete. I accept health as my natural state of being. I now consciously release any mental patterns within me that could express dis-ease in any way. I love and approve of myself. I love and approve of my body. I feed it nourishing foods and exercise in ways that are fun. I recognize my body as wondrous and magnificent, and I feel privileged to live in it. I have lots of energy. All is well in my world. It feels uplifting, doesn't it? Enthusiastic, exciting, affirming what we do want. A BFF for healing then is to accept what is in the moment, don't resist it, and know that it doesn't have to be here forever. Bless what's good in your life and in your body. For whatever you bless, you create more of. Forgive, forgive, forgive. Forgiveness sets you free from past pains and issues. It frees you to heal. And then focus on the health that you enjoy and the health that you desire more of. you do have a BFF for healing. All you have to do is tap into it every single day to manifest the wholeness that you desire. So let's close with our affirmation again. Together, releasing all error thoughts, I embrace the truth about me. I am a magnificent creation of the Creator, whole and perfect in every way. And that's the truth of our being.